and welcome back to our channel. Today we're breaking down and appraising Watch Dogs Legion. This is a long-awaited game that's been pushed back, not knowing when it was going to come out till finally it did come out. Don't know whether I feel like it was a good game or I feel underwhelmed. What are your thoughts, Stars?
And this game was it definitely wasn't overwhelming. It was definitely very underwhelming, and especially for the game not having campaign was a little disappointing.
Okay.
What did you think?
You mean multiplayer?
Yeah, multiplayer.
Yeah, definitely. You kind of would think since the game took such a long time to come out, got pushed back, they would come out with the game entirely and not just part of the game and not also include multiplayer. You would think they would have had a whole game instead of having you now wait a couple, like 2 to 3 months for them to actually come out with the second half of the game. It was underwhelming. It had good parts. It had great cutscenes. The hand-to-hand combat has really improved over the Watchdog games. I really think they really did a really good job in this game with the hand-to-hand combat.
Hand-to-hand combat was definitely much improved over 2 games. If you think about Watch Dogs 1, hand-to-hand combat seemed a little arcadey. And then
Watch Dogs 2 was minimal.
Watch Dogs 2, it got slightly better.
It was slightly better, but it was minimal. It was mostly just like takedowns and stuff. It really wasn't like it really got into hand-to-hand combat. It was like mostly just just takedowns. The addition of fight clubs, I think that was fucking awesome. I think that was great. I think that was a great addition to this game, to have a fight club where you can actually fight in groups of people, or you could fight a single person. You had a variety in that fight in the fight clubs. I like that. The abilities that they also added compared to Watch Dogs 1 and 2, it was great to see how they improved on that. They added more abilities. You have a whole list now you can choose from. You could definitely add more like armor to make sure you don't die as fast. You got hackings and you got other toys to choose from. What are your thoughts?
I liked a lot of the gameplay elements that were added compared to the last few. Like, hacking seems a lot better. The character selection thing was pretty cool too. Gameplay was not bad. It's just they're lacked thereof having a content that just makes you want to play more and more. Like, I didn't feel that like I would have felt with like other games from Ubisoft, but it seems like this Ubisoft fatigue thing seems to be the route they wanted to take going forward.
Yeah, you definitely did have some lack in this game.
How did you feel about the performance, man?
The game? I think the performance of the game was decent. There was a lot of crashing in this game. I don't know whether they've patched it since then, even though it was not that long ago since I played. So, but there's a lot of crashing. You had a lot of game crashing. I heard a lot of consoles also crashing. You had that happen to you while we were playing. Your console crashed at least twice.
My 1X, more than once. My 1X just decided that while playing it, it was going to crash on the game and then crash my console completely off.
Yeah, so I mean, we do. There's been a lot of the issues with that, with console crashing, game crashing. It's been a trend. Also, game freezing as well, which causes the game to crash as well. Other thing I would say probably it gets a little repetitive. I would say, in the fact that when you're playing it, it's very, very repetitive on certain missions and stuff.
Yeah, some missions do get pretty repetitive.
The way they start out the game, I would assume, because the way you were able to recruit people and all, I was assuming your character would be like someone you created, so you got like to edit, create him, from bottom up. and select his attributes and stuff, and what he can do and all that. It kind of seemed like a little underwhelming in that part where you just kind of select some random person. It's just underwhelming.
It feels like the game had some parts that were not really thought out, but it was just like there, and they just decided that they were just going to do whatever they can do. I mean, considering COVID, I mean, yeah, and I'm pretty sure that even this game prior to COVID, when it was supposed to release, probably was worse than it is now. I mean,
Yeah.
there was definitely a part of it that like had people wondering if we were like going to get a legitimized experience, and it just felt like the legitimized experience wasn't there. It like I mean I like the fact that you could recruit people into DedSec and use them. That was a really cool thought out
Yeah, that
process.
was really cool.
It feels like they prioritized that over having a solid experience like Watch Dogs 1,
Yeah,
where it was not about DedSec, it was about the guy you played as and how much you can impact the community that is corrupted.
it was many issues. You had the issue with only certain characters had guns. You couldn't actually build a gun with a 3D printer like in Watch Dogs 2.
How did you feel about the graphics of the game, though?
I say actually the graphics were really good. Solid flow throughout the game. On during missions, it was really nice. It was really, really good.
Graphics were pretty good. I think maybe their whole intention was, like I said prior, was that they were trying to maybe make a game that had great graphics with the ability of grabbing all these people, but not really geared toward people who want a story-driven experience.
Yeah,
I mean, campaign was just. It felt like having a salad with no dressing. Very bland.
I don't know whether they're gonna have any DLCs to expand the map, but it seemed like the map was kind of small. It seemed like it was a very small location compared to Watch Dogs 2 and the first Watch Dogs. It felt like it had more areas to go around. And
let's talk about the campaign score.
Campaign score. I gotta give it a 5.
Yeah, I was sitting on a 5.5, and then you know what? It like a 5 sounds about right.
Yeah, just talking it through and talking about what was how the game was and how we really focused on what the issues were with this game. We realized that we had to drop down the score. We just couldn't.
You just can't. It like you want to give it more, but then you don't want to give it more because it just doesn't have the experience that older Watch Dogs games have. But hey, who knows? They could probably make it up with the multiplayer, which we're going to be doing another video for.
Yes, this video will be part 1 of Watch Dogs for campaign, and we'll definitely come back with you guys with a multiplayer review as well and an appraisal as well.
All right, so here's the 2-man crew appraisal.
5.
Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for more. Part 2 is on the way. Like, comment.